You still have expectation, intention, you are really falling behind. Let's give up the giving up itself. Don't fixate on any expectation, intention. Otherwise, you're gonna fall behind. Slow and wrong and falling behind for many, many Buddha's time. It isn't about give up or not giving up. Recall that sentence. Go beyond give up or not give up. It isn't about abstain or not abstain. To go beyond abstaining. And it won't become any path to Nibbana, but have Nibbana here and now. It isn't about going forward to attain Nibbana, but here and now realize the Nibbana directly. It isn't about give up or not give up. It isn't about abstain or not abstain. It isn't about any path to Nibbana in the future, but here and now be direct to Nibbana. It isn't any path to Nibbana, not about going forward to attain Nibbana, but here and now, through to Nibbana, through listening. It isn't about give up or not give up. It isn't about abstain or not abstain. It's not about attach or not attach. Here and now, directly to Nibbana. No need to go forward to achieve Nibbana. It isn't about that. It isn't about taking any path to attain Nibbana, but make a conclusion of the Nibbana here and now. There is no such thing as a path to Nibbana, but every path that you take, the end are realms of existence, and the one who taking the paths are sentient beings. Once there is someone taking the path, that is sentient beings, and the result of that is the samsara of existence. There is no such thing as a path to enlightenment or nirvana. And the eightfold paths are not the way to behave to attain Nibbana, but it is the way the Arahants behaved, the way they are, the way they carry themselves. Be direct and true to Nibbana here and now, not going forward to try to attain Nirvana. Once you're going forward, that is delusion, that is desire and cause of suffering. It isn't about attach or not attach. Make a conclusion here and now. It isn't about abstain or not abstain. That's the ending here and now. That is true to Nibbana here and now directly. Be direct and true to Nibbana. It isn't about going forward to acquire Nibbana. It isn't about abstain or not abstain. It isn't about give up or not give up. It isn't about attach or not attach. You only be deluded in attach and not attach later on. So only become deluded and add something on, and it become ways or paths to achieve this and that. That are all causes of suffering. And you haven't stopped the cause of sufferings, but keep on creating more. You are creating realms of existence. And Nibbana is not, has nothing to do with going forward. It has nothing to do with the present either. It isn't about anything going forward, so it has nothing to do with any part. Nibbana has nothing to do with even the present. There is no one making the path, and there is no one taking the path. That is Nibbana. Listen up, listen, and you will be enlightened. Something that is not related to even the relating itself isn't any path into the future, but it is here and now. Everything is from not related to the non-relating itself. Isn't about going forward. It is about non-attaching even now. It isn't something non-attaching even now. Something that isn't about attached or not attached. That is non-attachment here and now. That is Nibbana here and now. It isn't about going forward to achieve Nibbana. Once you go forward, that is delusion, that is desire, that is delusive attachment. Pointless. Something that's not related to even the non-relating itself. It is non-attachment here and now, nothing to do with the future. Everything is from not related to the non-relating itself. This is all about non-attachment here and now. So it isn't about any path to the future, any path to anything, even Nibbana. You have to listen up. Listen to something that will enlighten you here and now. It's not something that will take you a long way around and on your journey. Something that is not related to even the non-relating itself, that is the non-attachment here and now. It isn't any path. Nibbana, the true Nibbana, has no path to it. Sentient beings only create that up through delusion, assume them up. These paths to enlightenment, to Nibbana, is something sentient beings made up themselves. Eightfold paths are the way Arahants are the way they behave. It isn't paths to enlightenment. It isn't path to Nibbana. The way the Buddhas reflect the truth is flexible and is up to the situation. He doesn't reflect the same truth every time. He sees what the situation needs. So he used certain sentence for certain person and see if that person is released and liberated right there and then. After his enlightenment, he learned what sentence, what language to use in what situation, for what person. He doesn't use the same sentence to end the cause of suffering for everyone, but it is selective and it is situational. So it's up to the situation and up to that person and the cause of suffering of that person. And every sentence that he used will dissolve itself. right there and then after he used it. Only the later generation that memorize and fixate on the sentences, on the knowledge that they have heard, like to follow the Eightfold Path and fixate on the Eightfold Path as the way to attain Nibbana. It isn't the way the Buddhas used the assume up language. That isn't the way he used it. But only sentient beings that like to grasp on things and hold on to every sentence that they know the Buddha said. So it's the same as what you have heard from me. Use only the sentences that you have heard that work for you, that liberate and release. Use only the sentence that liberate and release for you and end for you. Use those. But not to memorize every sentence that I have said to everyone. It isn't for you to use all of the sentences. If you use all the sentences, it's like you are confused. It's the same as you take all the medicines there is to try to kill yourself. So use only the sentence that work for you, that release you. Don't use the sentence that doesn't release or unwind for you. If you use the sentence that is not unwinding or releasing for you, you become fixated on those sentences. Don't be confused. Use only the sentences that work for you. Don't memorize every sentence, even the one that help liberate and release you. Remind you of the sentence and dissolve that reminding as well. It has to let go of the sentence too. It isn't for grasping either, even the one that liberates and releases you. But only later generation after the Buddha's time have a habit of hungry ghosts that is greedy. So the Buddha is reflecting the truth for all the people, but it's not for everyone trying to memorize every sentence that the Buddhas have used. You use only the one that works for you, that ends for you. It isn't for memorizing or repeating like you are parrots. It isn't for knowledge, trying to accumulate all this. You try to memorize and try to grasp on it until it becomes path to enlightenment. That is all you assume up. Nibbana isn't anything. It isn't even Nibbana itself. If you listen to something like that, it will help you end all your desire to attain Nibbana. It isn't about liberated or not liberated. It will help dissolve desire to try to be liberated and not liberated. It isn't about releasing or not releasing or attach or not attach. It will end any desire to try to attach or not attach. It will help end on the cause of suffering. It isn't like you listen to everything and grasp on everything that you have heard. That is how you create all the realm of existence. It has nothing to do with Nibbana at all. You have to listen. Listen to something that ends the listening. Don't just listen everywhere, and don't listen in a way that you try to grasp onto the listening or understanding or interpretation. That is only create realms of existence if you listen that way. You listen and become liberated and released. Is when you listen without trying to grasp onto the listening. If any sentence release or liberate you, let go of that, to dissolve it. From not relate, even to the non-relating itself, not relate to the non-relating itself. Remind yourself with that sentence, and it won't be about relating or not relating anything anymore. You cannot grasp onto any sentence that I have given you, because these are all the self-dissolved sentences. You cannot take anything from Dhamma. A true Dhamma, you cannot grasp anything from it, because when it releases and liberates you, it let go of that liberation and release as well. You dissolve from the sentence that you remind yourself as well. When you recall one of the sentences, it releases you and it releases the sentence also, because those reminders doesn't hold on to themselves. That is how they are true liberation. It isn't about abstain or not abstain, so you have no worry about trying to abstain or not abstain anything. It isn't about abstain or not abstain. Remind yourself all the time. It isn't about mind or not mind, and you won't have any more burden in trying to mind or not mind, or cut or not cut. It isn't about going forward. That is realms of existence. Be direct to Nibbana. Don't be deluded in going forward. Be deluded by your delusive idea to attain Nirvana in the future. It only takes you longer. You become slower. That is your desire pulling you on. It isn't about desire. It isn't about staying or going. It isn't about trying to be here or go forward into the future. You have to be enlightened that Nibbana isn't even the present time, something that isn't attached to the non-attachment itself. It doesn't attach even to the present time. So Nibbana isn't present, past, or the future. You have to listen up. Don't identify Nibbana with present, past, or the future, because it will only be about ideas. Nibbana, the true Nibbana, isn't the present, the past, or the future. Nibbana isn't Nibbana itself. Something that's not identified, even the non-identification itself. It cannot be the present, the past, or the future. If you think that it is the present, that is idea. Future is also idea. That is an assumed up idea. Nibbana has nothing to do with the present, the past, or the future. It doesn't have the meaning of the Mada itself. It's only your delusive idea that assume up that Nibbana is this way or that way. All that is recorded in the scripture of what the Buddha said, it is not for grasping, it isn't for memorizing all the sentences that help release and liberate right in front of the Buddhas. That is the end of it. It isn't for memorize or grasping on. Only be deluded in trying to gain knowledge and practice. And you keep on creating a realm of existence, and samsara is not the ending. Everything in the scripture is not for memorizing or for grasping. Everything is anatta. Everything in the scripture is anatta. It's all anatta dhamma. It isn't about grasping. Only assume up to use to help release and liberate. Release and liberate for whoever listens. And release and liberate from the sentence itself. It isn't for holding on. It isn't for memorizing or carry. To listen and end, and that is it. It isn't for anyone to carry on what you have heard. It isn't for memorizing. It isn't about attached or not attached. There is no one or self in doing attaching or not attaching. There is no delusion in trying to attach or not attach anything. It isn't about attach or not attach everything. It isn't about attach. It isn't about not attach. If you still keep on attaching and not attaching, that is still a delusion. Make a conclusion of Nibbana. It isn't about abstain or not abstain. It isn't about give up or not give up. It isn't about relating or not relating. Make a conclusion of Nibbana. The whole scripture is about Nibbana conclusion. You all learn and gain knowledge about something that isn't about enlightenment. And the more you learn, the more you become deluded. The more you practice something that isn't about ending. So the more you practice, the more desire, the more delusion and attachment you have, and it isn't about ending. Something that's not related to the non-relating itself that ends. The practice of knowing, practice of insight, or any attainment, it will end on desire to practice, to attain anything, it will end. The more you practice, the more desire you have, the more delusion you have. You practice something that isn't about ending. The true ending is to end the practice. It isn't to practice to reach the ending. The true ending is when you end the practice. Practice end the practice itself, and it won't be more cause of suffering. Only direct Nibbana. everything isn't about abstain or not abstain. It isn't about abstain or not abstain. That is Nibbana, to help the samsara and yourself all at once. Cleanse internally and externally. Cleanse the karma internally and externally for yourself and the samsara. It isn't about abstain or not abstain. It isn't about attached or not attached. It isn't about liberated or not liberated. End the cause of suffering. That is to end the cause of suffering, not to create a cause of suffering yourself.